we have special guest. So let me introduce to you Alex from Back to the Roots. So he'll certainly wake up the audience as well.
How's everyone doing? It seems it's a little late, so I'll keep it short and to the point on, I guess these are for Jesse. Congratulations, first off, on throwing this event. This is awesome, and excited to be part of it as you keep growing it. This is what the company I'm affiliated with. It's called Back to the Roots. Have you guys ever seen a little mushroom kit in store? Or heard it? Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, as in, what's up? Cheers. But I'll give you a quick little background about how the company started, and I'll keep it to that probably because it's a little, and then we can talk it over drinks. But I guess in terms of what got me to do this, I knew nothing about farming or agriculture, but I heard that you could grow mushrooms on coffee waste, and nobody had ever done it. Thought that was really cool, so I went up to the professor. I was studying. I was at UC Berkeley. Was finance and economics major. Had just signed my offer to be an investment banker. I was at Morgan Stanley, New York, in their media and telecom group. Thought it was the coolest shit ever, though, that you could take waste and grow food. So I went up to the professor, asked him for more information, and he literally says, like, I know nothing else. I read this fact in a book. Let me give you the name of the book. And he's like, one more thing. He's like, this other kid, his name's Nikhil. He's like, you were the only two stupid kids in the class that asked that question. Let me put you guys in touch. So we got together in my fraternity and started kind of brainstorming, like, hey, why the hell are you interested? And my excuse was, I was like, well, I'm from Colombia. I'm big into coffee. I thought it was cool how you could take coffee waste and grow food on it. And then I'm not even sure what the hell his excuse was, but got us to laugh and eventually literally went to Google and YouTube and put in how do you cultivate mushrooms. I mean, that's how little we knew about this. But led us to some videos that you do not want to watch. There are probably a few hundred people have even ever watched these videos, but after about a week of us doing research, and I think that's the biggest thing when we talk about innovation, it's such a sexy word, but I think at least from my experience in the CPG space where you're actually creating tangible products, it's about doing shit. It's not about talking about it, and I think that's the biggest thing when I see young entrepreneurs or I see people out of college that say, hey, I want to be an entrepreneur. I'm like, stop talking about it, go ahead and do it, and that for us took 2 weeks to do. I think those are the 2 weeks that we wasted the most time because we finally went over to Cafe Strata, which is, if you guys went to Berkeley, it's a local coffee shop right there, picked up coffee grounds, brought them back, and planted 2 rows of 5 buckets of literally coffee waste that we had collected, added mushroom seed to it, and then went off to spring break, came back, and 9 of them had completely contaminated, but there was this beautiful crop of mushrooms in the far right back that was kind of sprouting out, and I knew so little about mushrooms that I was not even willing to try these things because I didn't know if they were even edible. So I called Nikhil up, he runs over, and then we're like, well, how do we know if these are even good? So we said, let's walk into the nicest restaurant and see if they'll try them. If they'll try them, then they're probably going to be good. So we walked into Chez Panisse right there in Berkeley, and Alice Waters happens to be there. She's big into food, the local food movement, organic movement. Tries them out on the spot. She's like, hey, these are actually pretty good. So same kind of concept. I think we learned a little bit for how much time we wasted in those 2 weeks of what innovation feels like, which is on top of our computer doing work, but what actual innovation is, actually doing things, is we actually took that same bucket and walked into Whole Foods. Within 3 weeks, we heard back from the regional buyer, and he said, if you guys figure this out, if you guys figure out how to grow mushrooms on coffee waste, he's like, I'm going to blow you up. He's like, this is the most innovative shit I've seen in produce. He's like, to take coffee waste and grow mushrooms. He's like, go ahead and figure it out, and I'm going to buy everything you can produce. So ended up trying this out, made it work, gave up my full-time job offer in banking and became instead a full-time mushroom farmer. Did that for about 3 months to actually make it a commercial farm. Ended up growing regionally to all the Whole Foods, and then along the way, and I think that's really where our vision really was created, is along the way we we realized that our passion was to connect people to food, to connect especially kids to food, because mushrooms, and I don't know if you guys like mushrooms, I've ever seen them grow. I'm telling you, it was the craziest thing how within a week a mushroom would grow from nothing to like a fully grown pound of mushrooms. They grow super fast. And that experience of growing food, which I had never really done before, was fascinating to me. And every time I would do demos in Whole Foods, that's what I would focus on. It's the fact that these grew so fast. And then eventually our buyer was like, you guys are so damn excited about the growing part of it. He's like, why don't you guys actually like sell that part of it? So we ended up going back and created something that was pretty, because obviously if you look the way mushrooms are grown, it's these big bulky bags. So we took a big lesson from apple and milk and wine, those three things that are very common to people. We're like, all right, it's got to be small enough, it's got to have a handle. Our whole thing is like making growing food instead of hippie and granola, like let's make it fun and cool and exciting and something kids can be excited to do. So that's when we launched the mushroom kit. We launched in one store. Within 3 months, we were nationwide with Whole Foods, and Home Depot came knocking, launched in a few hundred Home Depots. And then Nordstrom came by and was like, hey, we share the same customer. We're getting into food. So here we are about a year into being mushroom farmers, and we had just launched nationally with Whole Foods, Nordstrom, ended up launching Home Depot, Fresh Market, Safeway, Bed Bath & Beyond. So it was just like, how the hell we kind of stepped back. We're like, we just got a damn mushroom kit into all these different retail partners, which you never see working together. And I think it's the big movement there of, if you get people to do something, in this case, something as simple and funny and weird and disgusting as growing mushrooms out of your kitchen, but if you do it differently and you do it with passion, that people resonate to that. And it's not about doing all this research. It's not about doing, kind of stepping back and acting like you're hot shit. It's about actually getting your hands dirty. And that was kind of like our first product. We just launched a new one, similar mentality. Have you guys heard about aquaponics before? You have? Sick. Dope. Okay, so a lot of people are learning about it. So I didn't know anything about it about 18 months ago now. Yeah, it's been 18 months, damn. So I visited this farm in Milwaukee that was taking fish shit, pumping it up, using it as a growing medium for plants, and the plants were cleaning that water, bringing it back down for the fish. So it was this really cool ecosystem where the fish would actually feed the plants would clean that water and bring it back down for the fish. And I was seeing this big farm that was selling to Whole Foods in the Midwest, and I said, that's the coolest thing ever. What's the smallest system ever created? So we went to Google, same type of thing, and searched for it. It was a $400 fat unit that no way in hell would anybody put in their kitchen. So we're like, that's our next product. Told that to our advisors, our mentors, and everybody's like, you guys are fucking nuts. Like, how do you launch a mushroom kit, and how do you create a second product that is now a fish tank? And we said, I don't care. Like, this is the coolest thing. Like, we believed at our core that it was connected. You're growing food in unique ways. Here you're growing mushrooms in 10 days. Here you're growing food off of waste and fish waste. And didn't have the money to do it and didn't have much support at first. So we launched it on Kickstarter. Within 30 days, we had a $100,000 goal. We hit $250,000 and ended up, I love that smile, by the way. I appreciate it. So one side note, today's a big day for me. 11 years ago, I was diagnosed with cancer, and I've been cancer-free for now 10 years and a half. So thank you. So it's been a fun, emotional day for me, and really cool now to see what's happened with this new product where we launched, and this is where we spent about a year designing it, where again, we couldn't compromise on the functionality of it. Everything had to be included. So it's got the organic seeds included, it's got basil, lettuce, and wheatgrass, it's got fish food, it's got all the aquatic stuff, and even has a fish coupon for you to pick up a fish from your local Petco. So everything is already included, and if you're looking for a holiday gift, we're actually doing 11% of our sales, because today's December 5th, the day I got diagnosed. 11% of our sales today are being donated back to Livestrong, an organization that's really dear to my heart. But anyways, that was a little, now I went into a sales pitch, my bad. But anyways, so then I guess as I look at where we're at today, and I asked, like, what does innovation mean to me? And I think it's not about perfection. And I think that's the number one thing where we talk about you're starting a business. I see some of you guys already have a business, and you probably can relate to this. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's not trying to one up the next person. It's how do you become slightly better? How do you make minor iterations every single day? And I think that's kind of what we've taken to heart, and it's been exciting, a really fun ride to be on, and I guess that's it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.